Hey, everybody. Welcome to another episode of the Mile High Game Guys Board Gaming Podcast. I'm your host, Adrian.
I'm Zach.
And I'm Jeff.
We are coming to you with a live in studio with all three of us. That's only the second time that's happened in all of 2022.
Well, technically it happened last episode.
Yeah.
No.
Adrian.
It wasn't in the studio. It was not in the studio.
Adrian,
you know what?
no
It was
here.
remote.
Yeah.
That's what it was.
Uh-huh.
You got the intro in, and then we had to delete the rest of your,
Yeah.
Adrian is no here.
along with Mr. Superman.
Correct.
Yeah, Mr. Superman no here. I should probably switch off of the starting soon because we're not starting soon anymore. We're started.
But you know what?
We're going
No
live.
one on this audio podcast would ever know what the fuck you're talking about.
That's
They
true.
wouldn't. They wouldn't.
But see, I've already cursed. What it's after a minute. I don't know if we'll get. All the monetization from our YouTube. We've lost it all. So
Yeah.
Oh, we never even had a chance.
No.
I don't think I ever even turned it on.
it's rightfully so.
Because I think if anybody was listening to our stuff in there and then an ad came up, they're like, all right, fuck this. Like, it's not worth
No,
it.
Yes,
yeah,
bitch, I'm
yeah.
out.
Yeah.
I don't know. The one guy who went through and gave us 4 hours worth of notes on the quality and technique of our
Game of Thrones.
Game of Thrones playthrough.
Or
Yeah.
lack thereof.
It was impressive how much he was like, you played this wrong, you played this wrong. 3 hours later, hey, you played this wrong.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hey, you guys made another mistake here. By the way, it's kind of blurry and has been for the last 3 hours.
Uh-huh. It's because we were at a 10th of our bit rate when we first originally streamed that.
Oh, good stuff.
Yep.
I'm gonna go ahead and throw a little warning, a little heads up. Stick around for listener feedback. We have 2 emails.
Oh my
We
god!
haven't had listener feedback in forever.
No,
so
we
people
did.
might
We
be out of
did.
practice.
We did have it, and then it was in the spam folder, so we did not see it.
I mean, these are still within a
Yeah, they're in a
within
week at least.
Yeah.
But it's been a long time, so people might be skipping that. Like, oh, nobody emails these losers anymore. I'm just going to cut it off when they say they're going to listener feedback.
Yes.
That would be a mistake on this episode. There are 2 emails from new emailers, never before heard from fans. Fresh blood, fresh meat.
broke new ground.
Yeah, twice. At least one of them's a new listener. The other one might just be a new emailer. I don't know. We'll see.
They're
We'll
two.
see.
Yeah, they're 2.
You're making bold claims without any real backup here.
You know, I also felt
Right
that at least one of us should look at the emails just to be like, oh God, no, there's so much the
you
garbage shit in here. No,
a lot of racism.
Yeah,
but
exactly.
you know what? We're reading it off.
We're in the middle of this thing and we don't see a way out.
Yep.
That would just be an edit point for me.
I'm just going to use the words hard R, hard J, hard N, hard. A lot of hard Fs in there. What's a hard F?
Francophile.
Yes, that's it.
Anyway, this is a board gaming podcast. I understand how you might be confused 3.5 minutes into this show where we've not
I
talked
don't know.
about
We
board
were.
games.
It's less. It's I'd call it a solid 3.
Solid 3.
Yeah.
Solid 3 minutes into this, and you have not heard any mention of what we do or why we do it. We're a board gaming podcast. We ramble, and we're all over the place, but we have fun doing it. I think it's time we talk about board games, though, to keep up the facade.
Welcome back, everyone.
Yeah. The illusion must be maintained.
Yes.
So, Zach, what did you play this week?
Nothing.
Great. Jeff, what did you play
Moving
this
on.
week?
Moving on. Quensu Ocha. White Devil. White Devil.
Yes.
You speak Watutu. Okay. Then
It's in the
you know what?
bone.
We'll get to that in banter. Just so you know.
Cycle back.
Yep. Are we just going to me?
Yeah.
Is it me?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's you.
Jeff plays Dune.
Unless we want to do Adrian plays from last week, then do Jeff, then do Adrian plays from this week.
You got weeks. You've got weeks. Okay. So I showed up to this week's brewery and board game meetup, aka the Denver Game Night, and then there was a bunch of people there. We had a solid 30, which
figures the fucking week I got to go this month. There was fucking no one.
Yeah. We had a good 30 people there.
Yeah.
And then I was up. I got there a smidge later. And then I was like, well, I'm going to sit at this table that we threw all of our shit on and then just kind of hang out. And then Wes showed up, whose birthday it was.
Indeed.
That is true, yes.
And then I was like, hey, you want to play 2-player Dune Imperium? Because that was the only game I brought. And he was like, sure. And I was like, it's by the Clank guy. This is also the first time I have broken out the Dune Imperium Deluxe Edition, which I got after a significant supply chain delay.
I don't know what would have caused a supply chain delay.
So much so that I had also received the expansion on top of that already. Fun fact, that Dune Imperium Deluxe Edition box totally has specific spots for all of the expansion shit already in it when that was originally crafted well over a year ago.
Interesting.
Like, even the little mini boards go on top in, like, perfect little divots and stuff.
My favorite thing about that insert is just the screen print on the covers are aligned in such a way.
The plastic covers that go on the formed black plastic.
Yeah, it makes a cohesive image so you know how to put it in every single time.
Yeah, so because it's not just square. Yeah, it's irregularly placed, but it's kind of that worm facade of where the hunter-seeker kind of drills out of. I don't know.
Sure.
It's the thing that's got the big giant worm on it. It's also the sweet-ass fucking first player coin that also is that. So
nice.
Super cool. So it was also the first time I played 2-player Dune Imperium, which means you throw in the House Harkonnen? No. House Hagel.
Yeah.
Hagal.
I believe it's House Hakan of the Emirates, the space space line.
Yeah. It's, so the Space Lions showed up.
Yep.
Oh.
Yeah. Well, it's a desert planet. I'm sure it took no influence from Dune in any way, shape, or form originally when that race was created. Then
there's betraying you.
My foot took my headset off. I'm just very flexible.
I can understand how you were not expecting that.
He was Paul Atreides.
Okay.
I was person that doesn't get blocked on blue or green of no house that sounds familiar from the movie. This is also the first time I've gotten the game to the table since the movie has come out, as far as I'm aware. So the House Hagel, whatever the fuck, acts as like a blocker on the board.
Okay.
And also in the combat area control, the combat zone. They're bullshit if they draw those cards at the right time at the right place. There is a physical deck you can use, but there is also an app that just does it for you.
Okay.
We use the app.
All right.
The game just kind of went like a game of Dune. We were, drafting our cards, playing the deck builder thing.
Sometimes it'll block exactly the space you wanted to go to.
Absolutely.
Other times on the first turn, it'll block something that you would need like 5 money or like 6 spice to get. So it's like, well, I wasn't going to go there anyway.
Yeah,
were you watching this, Zach?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Looming as the God Emperor.
Mm-hmm.
He was playing as the Hagals. He was putting the shit where it needed to go when it happened.
Yeah.
So. So that third player kind of did make a difference because it was, for the first couple rounds, it was winning the fucking conflict zone. So Wes and I were thrown into second and third place.
Holy shit.
For the first 2 rounds, mostly because it kept recruiting literally everything it had because it was going to the locations where it would get 4 or 5 troops very easily.
Sure.
And it also has like a mandatory, when you get those troops, if they can go into the combat zone, it will throw the maximum amount in there that it can. So it was fucking us up real good early on.
There was a little bit of confusion of how many turns it gets. So
yeah, because you only start with 2 agents and then you unlock a third, so once everyone has used their agents, it will then just do its combat phase and not place any more agents. But I think we were using all 3 of its agents when it should have only been using 2. And then it just passes turns until the combat actually happens. Yeah. So it probably got 2 extra actions in there that it should not have had. But
Zach cheats even when he's not actually playing.
Well, it doesn't actually score points, so him saying it was winning means absolutely nothing.
No. It just steals that from the other players. Yada, yada, yada. We went through and played the Dune game. I understood a little bit more of what was happening on the cards, because when you originally play that game and have no context of what Dune is, it's like, oh, there's this card called The Voice. It just makes it so you can't go to that space for one entire round. But now that we know what The Voice is, it's like, oh, that's a fun thematic thing that says you can't go there.
Yep.
That's neat.
Well, and then you're like, hey, it's Jason Momoa. And now you're like, hey, it's Duncan, Idaho.
Yeah. Hey, it's Thanos.
Yep.
Oh, hey, it's, it gives a lot more to those characters and what they're doing. Even though I did own the expansion, we did not play with any of the expansion materials. We went all the way to the end of round 10, and it was very close the whole way through between me and Wes. I thought because it was his birthday, I was like, you know what? I'll give you to at least the first tiebreaker. And then he beat me on the first fucking tiebreaker. And it was not like it's not like, okay, so it's get to 10 at the end of that round. Whoever has 10 wins, or if you get to the end of the 10th round, that's it. So we both tied on victory points, and then we went to tiebreakers, which was whoever has the most amount of spice. I had 4, he had 5. So it wasn't like we were fucking around on even the first tiebreaker. So it went to a deep second tiebreaker.
Damn.
Yeah. And so then Wes won off the 4 to 5 spice level of the tiebreakers.
Right on.
I had bought a bunch of cards and I fucking never saw them.
That's
Probably because you kept buying so many cards.
I bought good cards though. And then the cards I bought were easily trashed. And that's what's nice about the expansion. It adds a new like discard or trash mechanic to be able to use the reveal ability of cards. So you can kind of get an extra like trashy thing in there.
Okay.
It adds more culling into the game, which is kind of what it needed, along with like 6 more character things.
And something to do besides the green spaces that get useless after like turn 3?
It replaces the entirety of the
Nice.
green and spice boards and then adds a sideboard on top of that.
Awesome.
So it completely rebalances that whole top side of the game.
Cool.
Yeah. So I look forward to playing the expansion at some point.
Yeah, I'll give it a shot sometime.
Yeah.
I like the first one well enough with a few minor complaints, and I'd be interested to see if the expansion fixes those.
Yeah, but like the spice shipping thing for just money, that's gone. Like it's about investing, and the higher that your piece goes in there, the more like reward you'll get it, the longer it's in there.
Interesting.
Yeah. It still uses spice, but it's like a different thing. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, cool.
And that's it. That's it for games I played.
All right.
But it's only been 5 days, so
Sure.
unlike Zach, who watched me play that game.
So I played a few games. So I'm gonna go back 2 weeks to the last game night I attended, which was at
Improper City.
On the snow day.
On the snow day. I had been traveling the week before in Orlando, and I had heard game night did really good at Strange. There were like 30 some people, and it was like awesome. Everybody's good to be back. I can't wait to get to see people again and play some games. And then there was a fucking snowstorm, and then there was like 8 people that showed up. Zach probably talked about a lot of this last week. At least that portion of it.
I didn't mention it at all.
Yeah, so it was super dead. So Megan and I got there at like 5:30 because we were trying to beat the snow a little bit. We didn't entirely succeed, but we played a 2-player game of Scoville while we were waiting for people to arrive.
Was it your first game?
It was our first time ever playing Scoville. I scored it at Black and Red the other day. I was in there picking something else up. I don't even remember what. I think a D&D book. And I saw that they had Scoville New and Shrink for not marked up, which was nice because it's a TMG game, and TMG went out of business, and so their games are in limbo for a while. And I'd heard really good things about Scoville for a long time. The one time I convinced Megan to go to Gen Con like 6 years ago,
it wasn't that far ago.
it had to have been at least 6 years ago.
It was 5 or 4.
I don't. You know what? It may have been.
I got the Facebook notification that LieriaCon was 4 years ago. So I bet it was 6 years, 5 or 6 years ago.
I want to say 2016 was...
Anyway, not important.
No.
Her first and only
important.
time. Her first and only time going to Gen Con. She hated it, but at one point she was very close to buying Scoville and then didn't. We ended up getting Imperial Settlers, which we really like. But we didn't get Scoville, so I saw it. I bought it. Impulse buy, and so then we got to play it, which is nice. Sometimes you buy a game and it sits on your shelf for a fucking year. This
or
one
2
didn't.
years or 3 years or 4 or 5.
Yeah. This just sat on our shelf for like not even a month, and we got to play it. It played okay at 2 players. I really like the mechanic of the breeding the peppers and how you've got to like strategically plant them to get different colors and combinations. Especially because like other people can take advantage of that, and like so that's kind of an interesting way to do that. I really want to play it with more than 2 though, because 2 people I don't feel like you're planting enough to really make it interesting. I'd like to see it at like 3 or 4 players. It plays up to 6. 6 seems like it would be a mistake. Like the time spent planting and then like doing the little like move the guy harvesting and like bidding for turn order and just all of those things. I think with 6 players would drag on way the fuck too long. But I think
that tracks, yeah.
I think 3 to 4 might be a sweet spot. So I ended up losing. I think Megan beat me by like 2 points. Most of the game I felt like I was crushing her, and I did not. She beat me by 2 points. So I did like it. I look forward to playing it some more. I think it'll be a good game night game. It teaches pretty quick, plays pretty simple, and looks great. It has a really cool like table presence. So I think it'll be a good one for game night. So that's Scoville. Then I played a bunch of Descent. So I played some Descent before I left to go to Dallas, and then I got back from Dallas on Saturday, and so Saturday night we played a game of Descent, and then we played 2 games of it on Sunday. So we are officially at the final mission for the app or for the current storyline or whatever. I'm not really sure where things are going to go. Like I obviously like I know from the story like what our mission is. I know what we're doing. I'm not going to talk about it because it'd be massive fucking spoilers.
It's like portals going to hell and someone trying to summon things to make hell good in the real world.
Sure, we'll say that's what it is. We'll say that wasn't just a massive red herring or something early on in the game. Like that's actually
you were the bad guys the whole time.
The one thing I am a little disappointed with. So we got right before this mission. So going into this mission, we got our 4th experience, which is nice.
As Zach and I's group has just hit 1 fairly.
Well, you start with 1. Your base level is 1.
We just hit 2.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's a little disappointing that we're only going to get to use the 4 experience like nuclear version of ourselves for 1 mission. That's a little disappointing. I hope that like it'd be great if there's like some random one-off missions that you can do or something like to kind of just keep playing with it, keep using it. The other thing that's a little frustrating is just through the random gen of the app, Megan, all 3 of the characters, we roughly split the 6 characters into 3 each. And we've just played with 2 of the 3 of our side when we pick our team of 4. All 3 of Megan's characters have both sides of their weapon card upgraded. So they've got really great weapons. All 3 of mine only have at best 1 upgrade. And I think Kelly, the little dwarf artificer, I think she doesn't have any upgrades on mine. So like that
mistake.
Sucks.
Sounds like a personal problem.
Yeah.
Probably
should have done that.
I never got the recipes. The loot drops did not favor me.
Seems like you're trying to push blame away from you.
But I did unlock all of my skills, whereas I think 2 of Megan's characters have 2 skills that are not unlocked. So
and then now he's boasting about what he has, but Megan doesn't have.
You know what? I think you're not using enough cauldrons. That was a bunch of the dwarf personal objectives. Was like, use a cauldron.
Yeah. My final one for the Dragonborn guy, the hybrid. My final one of his like side mission personal goals was to interact with Wells 3 times. So like one of the last missions that was super hard, he kept being like, "There's a well." Ah!
I'm gonna go touch it a lot. I'm gonna go jump up on top of the well and then collapse the well.
So, but it continues to be really good. They have done some awesome like 3, 4, like getting stacked. Like it's gotten tall. And it's awesome.
Yeah. Terrain is fun.
Yeah. So that's Descent. We've been playing a bunch of that. And then I went to Dallas in between those things, kind of, sort of. So I introduced some of my coworkers to some games. We all sat down in the hotel lobby and drank beer and played For Sale and Skull during an ice storm that like shockingly little ice, almost none, some would say, still shut down like the area for a day.
No, yeah, absolutely.
It was fucking ridiculous.
That's Texas.
Yeah. The day before, the instructors were like, y'all, this is Texas. I know some of you are from the north and you might be used to this, but we're not down here. It was like, yeah, but isn't this like the 4th fucking year in a row that this shit has happened? At some point, you should get used to this. You should start to learn to drive in ice.
But it's like 48 hours every year.
Yeah.
I'm not going to worry about 2 days out of my year of skill requirements.
I don't know. But that was fun. Everybody really liked Skull. That one was a bunch of fun. It's super easy to play, and then people really get into the fucking each other over. One thing that really brings people together, it's fucking each other over. For Sale went okay. I think by that point, by the time we switched to For Sale, like people were just kind of winding down and just getting kind of done. And they were all like not board gamers. So, the double whammy of Skull and For Sale was almost too much to take.
Yeah.
But it was still fun. And then on one of the nights, this was pre-Ice Storm, pre-playing with my coworkers, I went and met up with the Boyd of Boyd fame, down in Dallas.
Very famous around these parts. For bad dad jokes and casual racism.
No. I don't think I've caught any of that in a while. His bad dad jokes.
Sorry, casual sports racism.
I don't even know if I get that one.
Oh, you'll get it.
Anyway, so yeah, I met up with Boyd. We went out to what looked to be a very nice kind of Tex-Mex Mexican restaurant. Looked kind of hip and cool, and the service fucking sucked. The food was okay. Apparently, I learned that I don't understand what an enchilada is in Texas.
In Texas.
I'm going to say in Texas. So the way I make an enchilada, which is reminiscent of eating enchiladas at a small Mexican restaurant in Garden City, Kansas, where I was a kid and first really learned that I actually like an enchilada, is usually some kind of a meat, often beef. We do when we do ours, we do hamburger. And then we do a bunch of seasonings, and we do some like green and red peppers and some enchilada sauce. We do a red sauce. There's red and green enchilada sauce. I'm fine with all these concepts.
Yes.
Cover it in cheese. Roll it up in a big tortilla.
Yes.
Like a big 12-inch tortilla. Roll it up, bake it in a dish, and then plop it out all cheesy and spilling out everywhere.
Yes.
Theirs were closer to like what I would consider like a taquito. They were like small corn tortillas. There was like 3 of them, very small.
Okay.
Slightly different like construction of the recipes of the ingredients. Like I got the brisket ones because I was in Texas. I ate brisket like 4 out of 5 nights in Texas. And it was just a little bit different. It was like, okay, that's not quite what I was expecting. They were still good. I actually liked them. I don't remember what Boyd got. I think he liked it. He'd initially offered to buy me dinner. He's like, you came all this way, I'll buy you dinner. And I was like, I can expense dinner. How about you buy me beers at the brewery after dinner? So we then left there. Went just a block around the corner to a brewery. I'm drawing a blank on the name of it, Boyd. I am sorry. You didn't join the chat in time to speak up. Might have been Petacolis. Might have been. Yeah, I think that's what it was. Petacolis, something like that. Pretty good little brewery. Really cool space. It'd do really well in Denver. Their beer was okay. Nothing blew me away. But Boyd and I played 2 games of Res Arcana. So he taught it to me. I'd never played it. I'd heard some good things. And the first game he beat me pretty solidly. I definitely did not understand how quickly the game ends.
Yes, it does. Yeah. When I beat him the first time that I played and I beat him,
he referenced it regularly. Like 3 dragons, and you just raffle stomped him.
Yeah, well, I had 3 dragons, and he let me not knowing that I had 3 dragons, take the dragon nest that let me play all those in quick succession. So
yeah. So he beat me pretty good on the first one. And then the second one, I managed to reverse course, and I was able to beat him. We both had a dragon in that one, but my dragon was better. And I got the dragon nest, so
Nice.
my dragon was even better, and his was not.
were you playing with just the base game?
The first one, yes, for sure. The second one, we didn't play with like the beginner setup.
Okay, yeah.
So I don't know. Like we drafted our starting hands or our starting decks or whatever.
Base. Yeah.
We did like the alternate sides of some of the main tiles. But we didn't like add anything dramatically new. It was just more like changing how we use some of the stuff, I guess.
Yeah.
My 2 wizard people I got like to choose from in the second game were fucking useless. I don't think I used either one of their abilities even once. So I forgot medieval times was a thing. Boyd definitely mentioned it, and I made some jokes about.
I do remember his mentioning of like, what are you going to do? You're going to watch the cable guy, medieval times.
Yeah. But then I forgot that medieval times actually existed. I totally would have went.
Oh, it definitely exists. You're just not in the Chicago medieval times enough.
But yeah, so that's all I played.
Did you like it?
I did.
Okay.
I did. I beat Boyd. Of course, I liked it. No, it's fun. It definitely wasn't like some people were talking about it maybe being like a Race for the Galaxy killer. Definitely don't think so. It's another good option to have in a kind of quick 2-player game experience. The box is bigger and it takes up more table space than Race for the Galaxy, which are 2 big knocks against it in competing for Race for the against Race for the Galaxy for like which one I would want to play in a given situation. But I think it's an interesting option instead. I would definitely play it again, especially if I got to game night early and like somebody had it and there wasn't really anyone else to play around with or something.
I've got it.
Yeah,
and both expansions. So,
yeah, Boyd didn't have any expansions, or if he did, he didn't bust them out. We didn't play with them.
Gotcha.
But yeah, I liked it. I definitely would play it again. I thought it was fine. People were saying in the chat that you're not supposed to, in Slack, they were saying you're not supposed to play all of your cards, like your whole deck. That shouldn't be. You should be discarding them to get lots of resources. Both games, I definitely played almost my entire deck.
I don't remember.
If they synergize well. I mean,
exactly.
Why not?
Look, if I have 3 dragons and there's a dragon nest, I'm gonna play all the dragons. I don't know what to tell you.
I mean, that is only like 3 of your 10 cards you start with or something.
Yeah.
So,
well, it didn't last too long after they all got out.
That's also very fair. Yeah. So that's it for what I played. Kept it kind of short and sweet. That's simple. I did also play Red Cathedral, but I heard that Zach talked about it.
Yes.
I did have to message him and Lance after the fact because I played with the 2 of them and Megan, and when I got done, like I thought I was doing well, and then I got second to last by not many points. I was like, "Fuck this game." And later, Megan was like, "I thought you were serious," and I was like, "No." So I messaged Zach and Lance, and I was like, "Hey guys, just to clarify, I was not serious."
I believe this was brought up in the specific telling of the game
that I messaged you after the fact.
Yeah.
Okay.
I want to say I even read the message verbatim.
Fantastic.
Yes.
All right. Well, then I think we can move on to some banter type things.
First up on banter, Zach, go. Adrian's going last on banter this week because you have the longest, and you're going to cut for time.
No,
you're gonna. Yeah.
I have to go the other way.
Nope.
Zach already said pass, so he's done.
I did not say pass. Did not say pass. This entire past weekend is definitely been.
There it is again. You said this pass.
I said pass. Can't stop a word mid-word.
I will teach you to
Bad
enunciate.
things can happen if you stop words in mid-word.
Yes.
Just saying.
Yeah.
English is weird.
But the majority of my weekend was working, which was really annoying. But I did find time to do some stuff in between. Yesterday, I went to 3 different places to try and buy some furniture, and they sold that. They weren't there, so that sucked and disappointing. But on Saturday, I went to the Fort for the first time, which is a fancy restaurant out in Morrison.
Yeah, I'm jealous.
It was good.
I didn't get invited to
Is
the
it a
floor.
steak? It's not a steakhouse.
They have
they have steak.
They
Okay.
have bison and stuff like that.
Okay.
So
Okay. It's a meat house.
They definitely do feature a lot of interesting meat. Like you get like Scotch eggs with quail.
The Scotch eggs
House of meat.
No, it's not exactly that. But yeah, the Scotch eggs, which were pickled quail eggs with bison sausage, was definitely the best version of that I have ever had.
Yeah, they were fucking amazing.
You
can get like rattlesnake and like other frontier animals.
Yes. And it's definitely one of those places that you open up the main menu. Well, first of all, they gave us 3 different menus at different points in time, and so I was like, okay, it's one of those places. And then especially one of those places when I opened up the main one, and the first 3 things I see are market price, market price, market price.
All right, let's do this.
Yeah.
But how many pharmaceutical companies did you have paying the bill?
0.
Oh, that's your mistake.
It was my mistake.
That's the mistake.
Yeah. No, after all of my food and everything like that, it came up to like 150. So with tip, so it was not cheap.
Yeah, I feel like when Megan and I went there for our anniversary, which was like, and we went there like 4 or 5 years ago, so before everything gained like 30% in value, or cost rather, not really value, but
yeah.
So I think it was maximum value.
I think it was still like $200 to $300
exactly. Yeah,
for 2 people. It was not inexpensive.
Yeah,
but what about the Buckhorn Exchange?
So the fort is nicer and fancier. It's like if you're gonna do like a one-off experience, I'd say the fort. And you can afford it. Like Buckhorn Exchange though is awesome, and I love Buckhorn, and they also cook great fucking food.
I know that the 2 people that we Rick and Nick were both not fans of the Buckhorn Exchange when they went, apparently, at some point later. So they were just like, it was not that impressive. I haven't been, so I can't comment on it, but
no,
I've heard mixed things.
Megan, my mom, and I went to Buckhorn Exchange and had an absolutely delightful time.
That's
with
good.
Really great food.
Nice.
And like, my mom's not like, she knows like good food. Like she's traveled internationally a lot, had a lot of really good food. She knows good food, and she gave it the thumbs up.
Look, they could have just had bad times.
Could have been. We could have caught them on a good night.
Exactly.
Maybe we got a better than average.
Yeah.
Maybe they got a worse than average, and the real answer somewhere in the middle.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
But it was a lot of fun. And I did enjoy my food. Everything except for the shrimp. It was very.
I don't know if I would have gotten shrimp.
Well, the problem is that like I've gone to some places and like when they have like steak and shrimp is like the shrimp was real good. This one it was just like it just tastes like shrimp.
Oh, okay.
So just like I had 2 drinks from them. One was a margarita, a prickly pear margarita, and the other one was like a mint julep. The prickly pear margarita, I was like, this is good, but it's also just tastes like a margarita. Sure. The other one was a lot better and actually tasted, So
your comment about shrimp reminds me that when I was in Orlando, we went to a place that was recommended by like the factory we were working at. They like had a little list of like, here's local places we recommend. And it was a little rest. Did I tell this story about the shrimp being fucking awful?
No, but it's making me think of Severance.
Oh,
so I need to watch that.
Yeah. We'll get there.
Yeah.
Yeah, but we went to this place they recommended. It was dead. Like 7:00 on like a Thursday night, completely dead. It was like Blue Hair Special. Bunch of old people.
Blue Light Special.
No, blue hairs. Bunch of blue hairs. It was the early bird special.
Yes.
And I
remember
ordered
when Kmart.
Yes, I do remember Kmart's blue light specials.
Do you remember when Kmart? That's just period right there.
That was my question.
Yeah, I ordered the shrimp mac and cheese because it was one of the like more expensive things on the menu.
That does not sound like it'd be good.
That's what I thought, and I have $40 to spend on the meal, so I was like, fuck,
and if it's not your own money, then
and it was atrociously bad. Like there was no flavor of cheese; it was just all shrimp. Just everything tasted like shrimp, just lots of shrimp, and it was not good shrimp. It was like Orlando shrimp.
Which you would think is good shrimp.
Mm-hmm. I've
probably had better shrimp in Colorado.
Almost certainly. I know I have.
I have, yeah.
So, yeah. I'll butt back out of the banter until it's my turn.
Yeah, no, I mean, you're done now.
Yeah.
That's what happens.
That's not how that works.
Yeah, we've already cut out. That's it.
Yeah. So I've been working. I went doing those couple things or playing Horizon Zero Dawn.
Horizon Forbidden West.
I'm so jealous.
Yeah.
Horizon Zero Dawn, Forbidden West.
Yes. You can play Zero Dawn right now if you want. It's on the PC.
It's on PC.
It's on PC, yeah.
Absolutely.
Oh, I didn't realize
it. Over a year ago at this point. Yeah.
And I think
Forbidden
they've
West?
Zero Dawn.
Zero
Dawn
Dawn.
is the
Zero
name
Dawn.
of the,
Yeah. Okay.
I beat Zero Dawn.
Okay.
on your
Twice.
PS4.
No, on my PC.
Oh, okay.
I don't have a PS4. I have a PS3. I'm 2 gens behind on the PlayStations.
Yeah, Forbidden West is going to be a minute.
Yeah.
Anyways, moving on. Got
my hopes up for a second, you
me now,
fucking
right?
jerks.
Me now, right?
You
Zach,
go, Jeff.
Zach is done. It's Jeff time. I've been working. There's been beer things happening. Tomorrow we're getting a 3-barrel pilot brew system delivered. It'll be a few weeks before it's up and running. But Avery Brewing, whom I work for.
I'm really happy Avery's finally moving to a 3-barrel system. It must have been hell brewing at this much beer on a 1 barrel.
It's been hell brewing minimum 40 hectoliters at a time at the new facility since 2015. But so now we have a pilot brew system, a 3-barrel system that we can actually do like super experimental stuff on.
Get weird with it.
Yeah, because it's a 3-barrel system. Who gives a fuck if it sucks? It's 3 barrels. It's like the cost of materials, which is also anyone that buys beer just go la 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 la. It's nothing. Beer costs nothing. It's great.
It's fucking ridiculous. I need to get back to brewing my own beer. It'd be so much cheaper than just drinking.
Don't look up the actual cost of beer to what you pay. But we'll be able to do a bunch of weird experimental horse shit and just do whatever the fuck we want. It's a hot oil electric brew deck, so there's no steam system, so we won't have to worry about like steam release. It's just like, and then we're getting
just have to worry about hot oil. Way better.
Well, the hot oil is contained. It's just heat. That's all there is. We don't have to worry about, steam.
I mean, steam's contained too.
Until you need steam pipes to run it out of the building, which we don't need with the hot oil electric system.
Interesting.
Yes. It's going to come with like 2 fermenters. We're going to put it in our barrel-aged cellar, which is going to be not so much barrel-aged cellaring anymore because that's not been a thing for quite a few years now. Unfortunately. I mean, we still do some, but it's nowhere near what we used to.
Look, if they just made Rumpkin again, I'm sure the entire trend would reverse itself.
You know what? We still have Rumpkin from the last time they made Rumpkin, which was 2017. There's plenty of Rumpkin left.
Jeez.
In the bottles or that version that they made that was like super ultra.
All of the above.
God damn it.
Yeah, there's plenty. And there's Rump Light. They even cut it down to make a lighter version. Still got kegs of that. Yeah.
I objectively do not like the
Rump Barrel Aged.
Rump Light. I do not like the title Rump Light.
Oh, I see. Yeah, so we're getting the pilot system delivered.
It should have been Lightkin.
Delivered tomorrow, and then it'll be cool because we can do shit without having to collab, heavy air quotes, with nearby small breweries that have smaller brew decks, because of course this $30 million+ facility did not get a small pilot brew system installed when it was originally built. So that's the fun stuff on the brew side, work side. I've also been playing a ton of Horizon Forbidden West. I got a little bit of Elden Ring. I found a good deal for Elden Ring. It was like $43 pre-order for PC after tax. I was like, I'll pay $43 for the game, but I wasn't going to pay $60 for the game because I've never really played a Souls game. But Horizon Forbidden West, still real good.
Oh, it's real good.
I've learned the name of the people that are the thing that is like blowing my fucking mind.
Oh, definitely, yes.
Holy fuck.
Yeah.
I was like, where else could they go in this? Because the first game, Horizon Zero Dawn, had such fucking mind-blowing, like, oh my god.
Yeah.
Like, what is Zero Dawn? Why is Zero Dawn?
Yes.
Like,
who is Zero Dawn? How is Zero Dawn?
Yes.
Where is Zero Dawn?
Uh-huh. And I've learned all the answers to all these.
Answers.
And they were all very engaging.
Yes.
Where it was like, oh, where's this game gonna go?
Yeah.
And
there's a blight that's acting weird. You got to go stop it. And you're like, oh,
it's like, the world is dying. And it's only like 6 months after the first game.
Yeah.
And then that came to my mind. I was like, is she only like 20 years old then? Like, geez.
Yeah. You can definitely tell like that her character's being played of just like, God damn it, I gotta save the world. This is so much on my fucking shoulders.
All you dumb motherfuckers, get out of my way.
Yeah. Yep.
I have to save the world, and I understand what's going on.
Stop trying to connect with me. I need to save the world. What do you not understand about it?
Fuck up. It's very much about relationships. She has no she has friends, but she has no like real relationships. There was her father figure.
She lived basically like as an exile for the first 16 years of her life.
Absolutely. No.
17, 18.
Let's call it 19 to 20 because she was that age when the game started.
Yeah.
Horizon Forbidden West is fucking awesome.
Mm-hmm. New enemies are great.
I fought a giant elephant mammoth thing.
I haven't done that one yet.
And that was cool.
Fought the giant turtle.
I fought the giant turtle, which was super cool.
So many spoilers here. I know there's a giant turtle now. Ruined.
I fought the giant T-Rex, the Thunderjaw. I've killed a Thunderjaw again.
Bold. It took me all of Zero Dawn to work up the nerve to fight a Thunderjaw.
But what if you fought two at the same time?
That's a thing. It's
we mentioned this last week, but in the beginning credits, it kind of rides. You're going to the west, and it rides past all the important locations from the first game, and it just rides past the valley where the two Thunderjaws are at the same time. And I'm like, yeah, all right, I understand why that's important.
Yeah, you either fought them both, or you overrode one of them, and then you sat on the edge and watched as they fought each other.
Yeah,
it was cool.
I just dumped a bunch more time into that game yesterday, so.
Yeah.
I don't know how far I'm in, and I don't want to say.
Yeah.
So that's where that story will end.
Okay.
I went to the cocktail bar of Denver now, which is the Electric Cure. Little did I know, we're calling back to a Quince Ocha, that I went to the Electric Cure, and they are having a Satan month as their theme for the cocktail bar. It's usually a tiki bar, kind of fancy cocktail, stuff like that. The entire menu is all Satanism themed, and that was totally brought in because someone had gone there months previous and given them a 1-star review and calling them all Satan worshippers because they have a bunch of weird shit on the walls. It's like Beetlejuice and velvet paintings of the Rottweilers from The Omen, but also a neon sign with Life Finds a Way, and Jeff Goldblum with his shirt open, Jurassic Park laying on the table. And so they decided to make a whole month dedicated to her review of calling them Satanists and make the entire menu Satan themed. It was fantastic.
It looked real good.
They had a local priest come in and just give him communion wafers, and he was totally into it. It was cool. They had at 8:00. They did with the staff a goat head communion wafer thing with all the staff with music playing, and they turned all the lights red. It was fucking rad.
Holy shit!
Yeah, and also they had a drink called White Devil from Ace Ventura: When Nature Calls, and I definitely ordered that as the White Devil. White Devil. You speak Watutu? No. I get it. It's when he was a Quincy Ocha, and he's saying, White Devil, you speak Watutu?
It's a good movie. It's not quite as good as the first one, but I like it.
They had a little Ace. They had a little Ace Ventura with the hair horn thing going on the picture next to the drink order. It was
nice.
Great. Yeah.
It's in the bone.
They find you hilarious, so they will no longer smash your head in with a rock.
Great. Now I want to watch that movie.
Yeah. It probably
I'm sure it would hold up.
It holds.
There's definitely parts of the first one that do not hold up at all. So
it holds, not up. It just holds.
Yeah, the first one definitely got very anti-trans in not a good way.
Yeah, I'm not going to get into it.
No.
I mean, it's like that person was not really trans.
True.
They were taking over the gender of that person to become the police chief so they could take control to get revenge.
There were still a lot of really not great jokes and things
absolutely.
made. Yeah.
Absolutely. Yes. You could deep dive into why that's a fucking nightmare, but it's...
But that's where we were in the late 80s?
Early 90s. Yeah. 93-ish.
Couldn't remember quite where that fell in that.
Because they had murdered that hiker to take their...
yes.
Yeah. They were a murderer.
They were a bad person.
Yes, they were a bad person. Finkel?
Einhorn is Finkel. Anyway, moving on. Any more bantery stuff, Jeff?
Probably. But I don't remember it right now.
Great. So I went to Dallas for a work trip. I had another 110-hour week because some of that is because I traveled on Sunday and Saturday, and I get to clock in when I leave the house, and then don't clock in until I get to the hotel, and then coming back I clock out when I leave the hotel, and I don't clock in until I get home. So I get, depending on my flights and stuff, a lot of time. It's also really nice because I did really basic math. I make in the mid 30s per hour now, and so at time and a half I make basically $50-ish an hour, which is pretty great. Pretty okay with that for overtime.
Yeah.
My overtime is about $50 an hour, which finally makes overtime actually feel worth it. I finally have hit the amount of money where it's okay, yes, for that amount of money, I will do more than 40 hours a week, willingly and excitedly. Anyhow, I know you've had a week where you're just God, I wish I got overtime.
Yeah.
Dallas was okay.
So you remember, all the times we've gone there, we recommended all of these great places. Did you end up going to any of them?
Sure didn't. Not a one.
Not a single one?
I don't think so. Well, the only place I can think of that you guys have recommended is Pecan Lodge.
For barbecue, yeah, but there's one other
that
place.
You did not go to?
I did not make it to Pecan Lodge.
Because you went to a different place that was the one you thought was Pecan Lodge recommendations.
So, yeah. So the first night I got there on Sunday, and we just went somewhere kind of near the hotel called Chaps. It's a little local hamburger chain, sort of fast food, sort of fast casual. They were pretty good. It was fine. Nothing to write home about. Monday, I was all excited. So I was oh man, what's that barbecue place they talk about? Sugar Fire. I think that sounds right. It was Sugar Fire. And I looked up, sure enough, there's a Sugar Fire. It's 30, 45-minute drive.
Mm-hmm.
Let's go to Sugar Fire. And we get there, and it was empty. And I was the lack of a crowd makes me think I went to the wrong place.
Yeah.
And I think I messaged something like that in Slack where I was the lack of a crowd here makes me doubt you guys' recommendation. Everybody's we never recommended Sugar Fire. We're Sugar Fire was the really bad place we went to in St. Louis during Geekway, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And it was fuck, you're 100% right. It was fine. It wasn't it was not bad like it was in St. Louis. But it was just fine. It was nothing special. My ribs sucked. I didn't even finish my ribs.
Oh, that's a bummer.
The brisket was really good. I ate brisket on probably 4 to 5 of my 6 nights in Dallas. No regrets. It was great every time. Dallas, I will officially say, knows how to cook brisket as a city. Then we went, I don't remember. I'm not going to recount everywhere I went and ate at all times. Tuesday, I think, was the day I went and met up with Boyd, and we did the Mexican place that I talked about earlier. Wednesday, we went to a different brewery near the hotel that had a barbecue place inside of it.
Mm-hmm.
They were kind of 2 different businesses sharing a space, which was really cool. That was great beer and great barbecue. I got a Crowler koozie from them. So now when Jeff brings me a Crowler from DVC
Crowler.
or something, I'll be able to put my Crowler in a koozie. It has
I heard Growler. So
it has a handle. They had Growler koozies too.
Yeah.
And I was not going to do that. Then the final night, Friday night, I was trying to talk people into going to Pecan Lodge, and the 3 of the people who live in Dallas right there with us at the site were Pecan Lodge is great. Don't get me wrong. Can't go wrong with Pecan Lodge. They said, but the line is usually bonkers on a Thursday or Friday night.
At night, yeah.
And they're honestly, for my money, Terry Black's barbecue.
That's what it was, yeah.
They were all dude, Terry Black's. Go to Terry Black's. Yeah, Terry's. And holy shit, were they right. Good God. That was some of the best barbecue. I think that rivals whatever that place is in Casey Joe's that we go to.
Oklahoma Jones, yeah.
Yeah. Holy shit. Like the brisket was crazy good. One of the guys that I work with, he got a beef rib that was like just the biggest, chunkiest, and like, and he was like
a whole cow's worth of rib.
he was like, I don't know how to eat this.
Oh God,
and,
yeah.
And like there was our trainer was with us, and she was like, just grab it by the end of the rib and pick it up. And he goes, you mean like this? And he just picks it up, and it's just the bone. Like all the meat stayed behind. He's like, like this.
Yeah, you pick it up, and then the meat falls off, and then you just shove all of the meat with your hands.
Yeah,
like a monster.
Post Oak Barbecue out here does beef ribs, and those things. It's like one is like $30 or $40 because it's like it's a pound and a half of meat.
At least it's so much.
Yeah.
They were a little bit on the pricey side. Like their pound of like their meat by the pound was like about $30 a pound. Which is probably just reasonable price for that good of barbecue anywhere.
Avery has some decent barbecue, but I get half off, and it's great.
So yeah,
cannot beat the price.
Yeah. So Terry Black's was awesome. I had some barbecue turkey too. Like it was great. Their cornbread was really good. Their mac and cheese, their potato salad.
Sides are always key.
Oh my God, everything. The only thing that I will say as a slight minor dig, I was not blown away by any sauce at any place that I ate. Like the quality of the barbecue, like the cooking was great. The good flavor, good tender, like
they say Texas barbecue, but they don't say Texas barbecue sauce.
Yeah, and there's a reason for that.
Yeah.
So, in fact, I think the best sauce I had there was a Texas like take on like a Carolina white sauce or something.
I love
and it was
Carolina vinegar based barbecue sauces.
Yeah.
Oh my fucking God.
So, I got sent to Dallas by my company. My flight was paid, my hotel was paid, and I got $40 a day to eat. So if you want to provide those things for me over, I will go to whatever convention you want me to.
Oh, don't leave that open.
If he pays for my flights and my hotel and gives me $40 a day
weekend,
for food.
So
yeah.
We'll send you to Genghis Khan.
Yeah. And I would like to go to BGG Con once, maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe more. I don't know. I haven't been. I can't speak to how good it is.
It's fun.
Really just MHCC and Gen Con this year. So that's my two cons at this point.
I really hope that Ofer actually has the budget to
because you said
take
con.
me up on that offer.
You didn't say board gaming convention. You said
I'll go.
I'll send you to whatever weird convention we're going to send you to.
I will go to a weird fucking furry con if you pay for my hotel, my flights, and give me $40 a day for food.
There's just watch out. There may be a convention that somebody's throwing that's in the middle of the northern part of Canada, and the convention is just like you and just some other guy.
Yeah,
and that's it.
All right.
He's sitting in a chair.
Now we're
staring
talking.
at each other.
I am scared.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, fuck. I may have made a mistake.
I believe we call those critical errors.
Critical error.
Yeah.
Critical error.
Speaking of critical errors, we've let Adrian talk long enough.
Yeah, so I'm done with my Dallas trip. It was fine. Dallas, Dallas was better than Orlando for me. I enjoyed Dallas way more. I thought it seemed like a cooler place. We went to their like cool little hip neighborhood, Deep Ellum. It was really cool.
Yes,
Yeah.
Deep Ellum is a place that I even know of the beer world.
Yeah.
Yep.
We didn't go to Deep Ellum Brewing.
Oh,
That's
Deep Ellum is a neighborhood.
Yeah.
And it's like their
okay.
it's like
that's where all the good food was that we were trying to be like, oh, you should get
like
this
Terry
or this.
Black's was in Deep Ellum.
There's also a brewery there
There
named
is,
the same
and
thing.
we wanted to go. We did have Deep Ellum at a lot of places. Almost everywhere carried it.
That's
They're
kind of
good.
the Dallas brewery.
Yeah,
they have some footprint there.
yeah. So they're good. Yeah, we went to a different brewery down in the Deep Ellum neighborhood, and we went to a cidery and a bunch of stuff. It was good. Dallas was great. There was one little other banter thingy that I had. Oh, I watched the entirety. Megan and I basically on this trip, we watched almost the entirety of All of Us Are Dead, Korean zombie TV show.
Yeah. That's on my list, but I haven't watched any of it yet.
Solidly good.
Yeah.
Some things are definitely like
It's no Squid Game Korean show level of popularity.
No, it's been nowhere near as popular. I think I liked it more than Squid Game though.
Okay. Well, I'll have to give it a watch.
The best thing that I will say for it, the thing that I enjoyed the most is like I've gotten tired of this. And I've seen people talk about this and like why the original Jurassic Park is so much better than like Jurassic World and stuff. Like one of the aspects. There's a lot of reasons why it's way better. One of the many reasons is that in Jurassic Park, the two kids in the movie behave like kids would if they were in a park full of dinosaurs eating people. Like they're terrified, they're panicky, they're like traumatized. Whereas in like Jurassic World, they're like making jokes like immediately after riding off a waterfall in a bubble being chased by dinosaurs.
I mean, kids these days are desensitized, so I don't know what to tell you.
Sure, maybe.
I'm just trying to remember the part in Jurassic World. I was thinking Jurassic Park 2 Lost World.
Yeah.
And I was like, there was no bubble in that.
No, that was just kids doing gymnastics.
Using their gymnastics to kick raptors through walls. Like they'd already went off the kid rails by Lost World is my point.
Yes.
In All of Us Are Dead, they behave like high school children. Like they have like classmates they don't like that they're mean to even in the middle of a pocket. Like everything about him felt like kids. And there was a lot of times Megan and I were like, that's so fucking stupid. Why do they do that? Oh yeah, because they're like high schoolers. And that's very much what a high schooler would do or think or say and like how they would act. Yeah. And so I appreciated that. They didn't a couple of them were way more badass than any high schooler I've ever met. But also the zombies in this one seemed, I don't know, they're not American style zombies. Yeah. They're Korean zombies.
Yeah.
Which is also a really good MMA fighter.
If you want to see a not realistic version of kids with zombies, it'd be High School of the Dead, the anime, and that all in that it has boob physics that would break the speed of sound. So,
it's an anime for
somebody shoots a sniper rifle and it goes, but like boobs move between, like the bullet moves between the boobs, and it like, it's not.
Noted.
Yes.
I'll write that on the notes.
Boob physics.
Yeah.
Boob anime physics. Might be psychics. We'll never know how that's spelled.
But that was a good show. And then we have started on our like 3 episodes into the woman in the house across the street from the girl in the window, I think.
Yeah.
Is the proper phrasing of all of those words.
Yes.
It is brilliant. Kristen Bell is a national treasure.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Nope. Zach's giving me video footage of what's happening. That's anime, all right.
I'll wait till after the show.
Yeah. No. Rightfully so.
Maybe a good edit note.
No.
We should edit junk out.
Wow. You think?
Yes. I think that this was a complete diversion that doesn't need to be in an episode, but whatever.
Talk about zombies and high schoolers.
It's been 13 minutes of you talking, so.
It has not all been me. Anyway, but yeah, so those are both good shows. And we can be done with banter now.
I haven't watched any shows. No, except Severance.
Yeah. You said we'd get to later. Is now later?
Now is later, but there was a reference that I was like, oh, I'll get to the workplace thing later, but now I don't remember.
The people at work recommended a restaurant.
Yes, because so the whole hook of the show is like you have a workplace person and then you have like your outside of workplace person. And as you go down an elevator into work, that your brain separates those memories. So your workplace can't remember your outside life and your outside life can't remember your workplace. And at one point he walks out of work with a Band-Aid on his forehead and there's a little note on his windshield wiper that's like, hey, you tripped and fell into a like overhead projector during work today. Here's a VIP gift card to Pips. And it was like the local, like, of course you gotta, because it's the place that the workplace always recommends and gives you gift cards to go to Pips. Yes. And that's what made me laugh inside. Yeah. So it's Alex Scott. It's executive. Adam Scott? I said Alex Scott.
You did.
I did. Adam Scott.
Yes.
And directed and executively produced by Ben Stiller.
Yep.
It has a lot of Cable Guy feelings, which was also referenced earlier.
Nice. Read an article about how Cable Guy was ahead of its time.
Absolutely. It's a dark comedy of its generation.
Yeah. It was also like the first of like 4 Jim Carrey movies. Like he did like 4 movies and then that Cable Guy.
Yeah.
And it was like the first one of them that didn't like make
because he did
money.
The Mask, Ace Ventura, and Dumb and Dumber that all released in the same fucking year.
Yeah. And all did gangbusters.
Yes. Which rose him to his superstardom of Dr. Eggman today even.
And so, Judd Apatow like still jokes that he was the one to break that streak with Cable Guy.
Was that what?
I think it was. I think it was a Judd Apatow.
It was Ben Stiller.
I think Judd Apatow was involved.
He may have been, but I'm pretty sure Ben Stiller
Maybe it was Ben Stiller who makes that joke. I don't know. I don't remember.
No.
I remember Judd Apatow being mentioned in the article.
Ben Stiller was the director of that.
Yeah.
Who was the producer, though?
Probably also Ben Stiller.
I don't know.
Judd Apatow.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Understand.
All right.
Never knew. Didn't know.
You're both right.
I'm
going to just say you're both wrong.
All of those comedic people are all like so intertwined at this point.
And
they all work together and all have.
Yep. Yeah. Of course, Judd Apatow was involved because Leslie Mann was in the movie.
Who's Leslie Mann?
His wife, and she's in a bunch of stuff in like 40-Year-Old Virgin, and then
she's in basically everyone.
Yeah.
Movies.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's move on to some news and Kickstarter.
Yeah.
Jeff, is there a Bloody Minute?
No. There's not been anything.
Is there any update on when Blood Bowl might resume?
No. There is. It was going to be like late January, but then there was Omicron, but there has been no update since.
Okay. I only asked because I read the emails that were sent to us, and somebody was like, "I love Bloody Minute."
I might start playing 40K though pretty regularly.
Yeah. That's on Friday nights, so
yeah, there's gonna be a league, and you level up your 40K dudes. Yeah, it's at the Wizard's Chest. Yeah,
Have fun with all of that.
Yeah,
I look forward to going glassy-eyed when you talk about it on the podcast.
Don't worry. Now we're talking about shooting phases and objectives.
Zach's going to kill himself right now.
And buckets of dice.
Oh, the buckets.
I do like how many dice you get to roll.
There sure is a lot of them.
Moving on to some news and Kickstarters, starting with some news.
First up in news, there's been a thing going on in the world lately, and let's call it Russia
sucks.
But Stonemaier Games has been like, hey, Russia sucks. I have partnerships in Russia. I'm cutting all those off. But also, I think in my twist of the talking about this news, he's also completely writing off any and all debts from all of his Ukrainian localization partners, which is a cool thing to do.
Yes, it is.
Yeah, so this is one of those, like, I definitely like the cutting payments for the Ukrainian people, I think is super awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Like, there's nothing bad to say there.
There's 3 publishing partners he has in Ukraine, and he's writing off any and all expenses they owe to him.
Yeah, which is awesome.
You have other things to worry about besides paying me money.
Yep.
But also what has been catching headlines is like, I'm cutting off all economic ties with our Russian localization partners, which isn't, it's okay.
Yeah.
But the other part is cooler.
Yeah. I think the other part
definitely.
is cooler. And the like, and it sucks, like short of going to war with Russia, economic sanctions are really like the only thing the broader world can do.
Mm-hmm.
But I do feel bad because like I'm sure that like those people probably don't support the war. Like a lot of Russians don't support this.
Yes.
And he very specifically has an update off of that news article that is like, everyone's like, well, the United States does shitty things all over the world and China does shitty things all over the world. And it's like, there's still a line to be drawn here. And the Russia-Ukraine line, it's a very easy line to draw right now.
Yes. And that's the thing, like, because literally the only thing that we can do to put any pressure on Russia, short of going to war with Russia, which it's not a desirable outcome
for anybody.
For anybody is economic sanctions. And it's not like going to war with Russia is going to be any easier on the Russian people versus economic sanctions. Mm-hmm. So, that entire situation sucks. Our company had a big, huge thing of like, hey, we employ a lot of people in the Ukraine, and a lot of you are wondering how they're doing. And it's like been sharing updates and things, and that all really sucks. And so, it is cool that they're forgiving payments owed to the 3 Russian
Ukrainian
publishing partners.
Ukraine. Canceling the Russian things, but they're forgiving with the Ukraine.
He did give a vague
Ukrainian
dollar amount,
people.
$30,000 to $65,000, that cutting all of these Russian partner basically will cost him. So, it's no light out of pocket for that, but
yeah. I
don't know. It was on his blog post. It's there. There's plenty of
Jamie shares a lot of information about like how he runs his business on his blog post. If you're ever interested in seeing kind of a little bit of behind the scenes on what it's like to run a fairly major board game company, go read his blog.
Yeah.
Next up on news.
Speaking of war games, I love Undaunted. Undaunted is releasing a Stalingrad version sometime in the next year, which is an entire standalone game, but all of the previous Undaunted games are getting a digital implementation, which I am super excited to actually play, because you know what? That actually gets it to the fucking table, which is really important at this point.
Yeah. So it's Undaunted Oh, no, that's an expansion for Undaunted.
That was the expansion that expanded both of the other games.
Yeah, and worked as a solo mode that uses an AI card system.
Yes, which this new version will have. Also, this new version, this digital implementation, it's going to be, let's call it 9 to 12 months.
Yeah.
Just in time.
Remember when we were laughing about the Undaunted reinforcements being like, it's 14 months out from your release date, dudes. Right. You know what? They hit that fucking release date. So
sure.
Hard to complain.
Yep.
But yeah, so it'll have a faithful recreation of the original board game, an original card and dice driven mechanic to make it replayable, all scenarios from the original board game plus 2 additional individual scenarios or a full campaign. Full campaign being on full release. It's going to alpha
Q1 2023.
Yeah. Solo against 3 different difficulty levels, cross-platform multiplayer, or play by email?
Yeah. I haven't seen a fucking play by email in a long time.
Right? What is this, 1944?
You used to be able to play Civilization by email.
I know. It's crazy. A new tutorial and 3D maps and animated units and original music compositions.
So it's not just the tabletop simulator version. There will be an actual digital implementation.
Sounds pretty cool. I'll check that out for sure.
Yeah. Undaunted is a very good game. It's just
I would like to play it sometime.
It's a 1-on-1. You roll dice at each other, and dice are dice. They're D10s, but they're dice.
Yeah.
Cool. It would probably be easier to escalate the campaign stuff there.
Sure.
Yeah. It would go faster. That's for sure.
Indeed.
Next up on news, the creator of Root, who I'm sure everyone knows is not leader.
Cole Worley.
Worley.
I was thinking of Kyle Farron, who does the art.
Yes. He's got a new game, and it's coming to crowdfunding later this year, and boy, does he want to make it replayable.
Supposedly thousands of times, to use a direct quote from the article. It is called Arcs, Collapse, and Conflict in the Void. It's a space-themed board game, and you are going to be pursuing different objectives over the course of the entire thing. Over the course of the game, 50 to 70-minute game sessions. Worley, in the interview with Dicebreaker that they actually have a link to, talks about that he's built it intentionally to be very, very replayable. There's going to be 40 to 50 different objective cards for players to pursue. So over the course of a bunch of different sessions, you can try to work on a bunch of different objectives. And if you replay, you can work with different combinations of objectives to really give it a different feel each time you do a campaign with it. I know that's something like some campaign games, like you play through the campaign once and it's like, okay, well, you've really kind of experienced everything. Like, yeah, some stuff is a little bit random and might be a little bit different, but not that much is. So yeah, a bunch more information about the way the arcs and things of it will work in the article. I'm not going to just sit here and rattle off the entire
it's going to
article.
be late Q2 when this will be coming to a crowdfunding platform of their choice, which they have not said yet. So I'm sure it's going to be funded and make a fuckload of money.
Yeah. Looks like the arcs do take place over a varying number of sessions. So you can do a 1-session arc if everybody wants to have just a one-off game.
Yeah.
Oh, that's good.
Or you can have an arc that's 3 sessions. So you'll need to play 3 games. So you can kind of custom tailor your campaign length by what arcs you choose.
That's kind of how Oath works, right? Like Oath, you can play the one, or you can kind of keep going to see what affects the next and stuff like that.
So Oath you can always play. Just the most recent game of Oath will affect the setup for the next game of Oath. So it works best if you have people who've like played all the same games, so they see the like lore of how things have shifted. But anyone can just drop in and like it's just a game of Oath. I really want to start playing more Oath.
It's right there.
I know it's right behind me.
It's taunting you.
It's actually on this side.
Sure.
But yeah,
it seems like an evolution of that idea in Oath.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe something a little shorter that you can play, multiples in one session. Because I think Oath is fairly long still.
I feel like once people get used to it, like if you played with the same group, you can probably get it down to like a 60 to 90 minute game, but it's getting to that point, and
it's about 2 hours that you're sitting on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And at this point I'd have to relearn it, which is another time sink. Yeah. But moving on to the next bit of news.
Last up on news, Carcassonne is getting a spin-off, standalone / also not kind of standalone, cooperative version of the game.
Yeah. So this is a Fog over Carcassonne is the title for the spin-off. And like Jeff mentioned, it is a cooperative.
Yeah. It's not Carcassonne, medieval French countryside. It is a haunted land.
Yeah. Being terrorized by angry ghosts.
You are now Carcassonne Ghostbusters.
Basically, yep. This is also going to be the first in a series of co-op games of spin-off Carcassonne games.
Sure.
So you're collaborating together for laying down the tiles. And the big thing in this one is building cemeteries, which will appease and contain the restless spirits instead of trying to do fields and monasteries and all of that.
Yeah.
And then you're also building castles to survive the not peaceful ghosts.
Mm-hmm. I saw Lord of the Rings: Return of the King.
Yeah, they'll fuck you up.
Yeah, they just went right through the walls.
Sure did. So basically, you have 3 rounds that are also days of spirits of spawning out in the game, and you're trying to contain them as much as you can. And then if you get through the 3 days without being completely overwhelmed, you win. So 3 rounds, so should play pretty quick, especially playing cooperatively. It is done by the same guy, Klaus Jürgen, who's the creator of the original Carcassonne.
Basically, all the Carcassones that have come out have been his to do. Yeah. Z-Man will be doing it in the U.S. They also are like, Z-Man, the company responsible for Pandemic and A Feaster for Odin.
Yeah. No word yet, though, on release date or price point.
Yeah, but that seems like a cool thing you can do with there. It seems like one of those Reddit posts on our board games that would be like, we played Carcassonne cooperatively and the game was broken. It was like, yeah, because it's supposed to be competitive. Right.
Oh, man, I just reread the 2-year-old one about somebody who tried to play Hanabi competitive.
Yeah.
You're like, why wouldn't I always just give them a useless clue?
Because it's cooperative. Because you're not supposed to do that.
They were like, I assume you guys made a rule about where you couldn't outright lie. He's like, yeah, because the other people would tell on you if you lied, because they can all see it too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So they'd know if you lied. So you have to be honest, but why wouldn't you just always be like, this is a 5, this is a 5, this is a 5?
Uh-huh. Yeah. Just every clue. This is a 5. Play the 5.
Good fucking luck.
Yeah.
Bonkers.
Bananas.
But yeah, that's the Carcassonne cooperative spinoff.
Banana. Hot.
Fog over Carcassonne.
Banana. Hot. That's a reference to Star Trek Lower Decks.
Sure.
You know where Picard, Next Generation, Picard says Earl Grey hot? Someone's working on a replicator and it just keeps shooting out bananas hot at him. It's like, hot banana.
Who doesn't love a hot banana?
Yeah. Only reason this came up is because when I went to Denver Beer Co. earlier, the bartender that was there, she had left her banana out on the bar and the sun was coming in, and then she went to pick up her banana and it was hot, and she was like, hot banana, and I was like, banana hot, which reminded me of Lower Decks. Banana hot.
Sure.
Yeah.
Great diversion.
Absolutely. We got to go into crowdfunding somehow.
Indeed. And that's how we're going to move into Kickstarter / one lined out, whatever.
I believe we call this
time.
crowdfunding now.
Yeah, for at least for this week.
Yes. First up is 51st State, which
Ultimate Edition.
Ultimate Edition. Extremely well funded. With 340,000 of its $34,000 goal, and you can back this shit for $90.
Also worth noting that you will back this not on Kickstarter, but over on GameFound.
GameFound, yes, the foundings of games.
Yep. So this one's coming to us from Portal Games, who put out the original 51st State. It's one of their oldest games.
Yep.
It was
even before the Crusoes, I want to say.
It may be.
Yeah.
It's very much one of their oldest ones. It was a 2011 Gaming Golden Geek nominee, so it's old in board game worlds. And this is a full super big deluxe edition, Ultimate Edition. For those of you who don't know, 51st State plays 1 to 4 players, takes about 75 minutes. And it's a strategy game where you're trying to build a new world in the
Crusoe was 2012.
There you go. It's like Imperial Settlers, but post-apocalyptic.
And only one half of
Imperial
the sides.
Settlers is like 51st State.
That is
because it really came later.
Yeah.
Yes.
And they keep releasing these weird editions that come in with like kind of collect what's been, and then they make another edition that collects, and now this is the edition that collects. So now I think now's the time I want to get 51st State.
There you go. I'll play it with you if you get it.
Yeah.
Because I do really like Imperial Settlers. But yeah, so this includes every expansion and promo that has ever been released, plus a bunch of new content. The Kickstarter version has 4 factions that will not be in the retail release, a bunch of promos, a playmat, and wooden tokens, all of which will not be in the retail release.
Which makes the 51st State Super Ultimate Edition that will have all that stuff even more valuable.
Yeah.
When they release that in like 4 years.
Exactly. But yeah, whole just bunch of stuff that you're going to get for this. I'm not as used to scrolling through GameFound. Jeff, you went through all of this. What are some of the cool features that stood out for you?
I mean, it's just everything, which if you want the game and don't own all of the game, this is the way to get all of it. There is a new rulebook for all of this, which we all know Portal Games has the peak awesome rulebooks, so you don't, why would you even need the reprinted rulebook? What could they ever possibly change? But there are some GameFound exclusive things on here that aren't really something GameFound, I guess, doesn't do a lot, or at least people have not yet to pull the trigger on that. There's some mini expansions, which are basically those like the Texas faction, the hegemony, the Mississippi, the university, and then the promos and stuff like that. It's a deck construction sort of thing. GameFound is cool because they have like a bonus area for your stretch goals. It's not just here's an infographic that we update the JPEG for. There's actually like shit you click on the page, which is super cool. Like 6 of the 7 are unlocked. The 7th will be unlocking soon, and then the other ones all have their own little windows and stuff. You can individually slot in each of those stretch goals. Which are the various, I don't know, they're cards. They've unlocked cards as stretch goals.
Yeah. A lot of them are like just a card. It's kind of
yeah. It's kind of like Imperial Settlers. You have places you construct. You have cards you get. You just sort of play that game. If you don't know what 51st State it is at this point, go watch the 11 years of release material that exists between when the game came out and now.
Sure.
Try and find the oldest video of 51st State.
I definitely thought for a second that this was I can't remember what the name. There's another game that I think Portal did that's also vaguely post-apocalyptic. Neuroshima Hex. It might not be Portal. That I've only played the app, but the app I fucking hated, and I will never play the main game. Fucking.
If you live in Poland, your shipping is free.
Well, there you go.
There's the oldest video I could find. 2001 comedy. 51st State starring Samuel L. Jackson.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
I don't know what that is, but
I watched it a shitload. It had meatloaf in it. It's got.
I want to know what it is now.
Yeah, he wears a kilt.
Is it a movie?
Yeah,
it's a full movie.
Yeah,
from 2001.
2001. Action comedy. Yep.
Okay.
Action comedy.
He's Samuel L. Jackson is an American master chemist who is trying to sell his formula for a powerful drug in Britain. It's got Robert Carlyle in there too.
Strong cast.
Yeah.
Anyway,
I want to say 51st State has a very similar end game to Imperial Settlers. You have to get a certain amount of victory points, and that triggers the end game.
Sure.
Like that.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't know. Good luck. We're all counting on you.
Yeah. Right on. Moving on to the last thing on our crowdfunding.
Moving to Kickstarter, we have Unsettled
Plus
all new content. Basically, this is an expansion. $1.1 million of its $62,000 goal, over 8,400 backers, and I don't know. A couple days to a few hours left to pledge this one, depending on when Zach is. And then you can pledge this one for its new content at its most sleeved popularness for $90. That would be without sleeves for $75.
Okay.
Zach, you own this game.
I do.
Tell us about Unsettled.
I haven't played it yet. So
did it actually show up?
Yeah, I've got it.
After Gen Con, where they were selling it,
yep.
When we went up to him, was like, "Hey, how's it going?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, what's Unsettled? Oh, no, he's already backed all of it. He's just waiting on his." And he's like, "Thank you for backing it, and we are getting it to you soon." As they have an entire booth jam-packed with copies of the fucking game.
Yep.
See, we need to sell it at Gen Con so we can afford to ship it to you.
Yeah.
That's probably what it was.
Possibly, yeah.
But boy, are they making a fuckload of money on this.
Yep.
It's been fairly popular.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, some people want it. It's let's call it a Time Stories-esque, where you have your base core game, then you buy modules that kind of slot in new content into that.
Yeah, because you basically are like stranded on a planet, and you're just trying to make it work. And each planet has new problems in it. So
yeah, and then each planet has a challenge level. Each planet has a general theme, I guess. There's the volcano planet and the plant planet, and then so this is going to add 3 new scenarios. One is actually not a planet. It is your AI helper that is AI helping you, and all of the other ones going rogue, and then you have to fight against the AI helper.
Sure.
Yeah. But it's, boy, is there a lot of game trays. Like, each planet comes with like a whole series of game trays that each, and then the base game can kind of like hold 2 of those planet modules. So you can kind of bring the base game anywhere and play one of those 2, and then sort of take those modules out and replace them with newer modules that you want to play on the next, game night.
Mm-hmm.
But it's like $75 that will get you 3 new planets, 2 new modules, which are scientific specializations and fascinations. So it's giving individual like player powers to your various scientists. And then those and then it will give you I don't know, they're like little chits that have your face on them that act as your player pawns instead of just the blank colors that I think the previous version has.
Well, they have faces like on your board that you like put your face in to show that it's you.
Yeah.
So
there's going to be some more avatars, explorer avatars. Who doesn't love paying more for avatars? But it's a good thing because it's free on the Kickstarter.
Sure.
After you pay for the Kickstarter, it's free.
Yeah.
Yes. Otherwise, it'll be $3.
Oh, man.
It's literally just a bunch board with, round avatar.
Yep. See, that's where you put your face right there.
Yeah.
They do like to point out that they were the #1 game of 2021 for production value from Dice Tower. So,
I'd agree with that. It had some good production value.
And it barely made 2021 to ship to backers. So
but it counts.
It still counts.
Count it.
Yep. Like a whole gist of mechanics in this are like you're different scientists like working together, and you can trust your partners or distrust your partners in other ways. There's various cards that they're adding for that trust and distrust mechanic. Yeah, it's just gonna be a whole lot more content.
My problem is that like I would get this, and I'm like, oh, but I got sleeves for the other one, so I should probably get sleeves for this one. The amount of sleeves like per package was so much more than it was like needed that I still have like I sleeved everything.
Multiple packs of sleeves.
Yeah, you got one pack per planet, one PvP. And
that's what PvP.
That's what
means.
PvP means. Yes, and you use like 0.7 of it.
Damn.
So that's 0.3 PvP that is just
so
left. Yeah,
so much PvP available.
Exactly.
So you got to bet on the no sleeves and hope you have enough sleeves to sleeve the stuff that's not sleeved.
Sure.
And that will save you $15. But if you want all of that shit, you could just pay $210 to $250 for literally all the content from all the games.
Yeah, it was $134 for the.
But the $210 comes with 4 free items. I mean,
yeah.
How could you afford not to take that?
One of those items is $3.
$210. The bundled value of that $210. It's really worth $240.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Can you afford to not save $30 by spending $210? That's how math works,
You know what?
Yeah.
You know what? You could just get the non-sleeve pledge and then just pay $5 for one extra pack of sleeves, and you'll probably break even.
Probably, yeah.
Robs.
So yeah, Unsettled, a planetary exploration game that is getting millions and millions of dollars.
So much money.
Yep.
All right.
Apparently also includes Jamie Stegmaier's favorite mechanism.
He has a bunch of things. Like, that's the series is called My Favorite Mechanism in this sort of thing. So it's just...
Unsettled, Mastery.
Yep.
And that's it.
That's
it for all of those
That
things.
is. That's it for news and Kickstarter / crowdfunding / whatever we want to call it. Which brings us to the much anticipated, long awaited listener feedback.
We even seeded excitement at the very beginning. This one is from an Alex, because we've had multiple Alexes.
We have one in France.
Yes.
In fact, these are both by different Alexes.
Oh no, the Alexes are multiplying.
Yeah.
Oh, fuck. First of all, Alex. Hello from the past. Hey guys, new listener. Currently on episode 34 in 2017, which is 5 years ago.
It is so long ago.
Really enjoying the podcast.
I'm honestly surprised that there's still episodes from that long ago.
I mean,
Sometimes they fall off of things.
but not all things. Really enjoying the podcast and a variety of games y'all talk about. Liked the review of Feast for Odin.
I didn't realize that was back in episode 30.
Oh, that was early. And
that was before we separated them.
Yes.
I know.
And looking
It's going to blow his mind when he gets to those.
so much content.
These guys do the most amount of contact, and it's going to stay that way forever.
What could go wrong?
Yeah.
What could go wrong? And looking forward to see if y'all review the Norwegians expansion to see if opinions change.
Have we actually ever?
I want to say
We streamed it and talked about it, I think.
It might have been when we did like an expansion review, like we did like a couple
Oh,
ones.
yeah. I think that was
That might have been a
that we
thing.
did.
Might have been one of the last ones we did.
Or one of the first, or one of the only. I
Who
don't
can
know.
say?
There's no way to know. Love hearing the Bloody Minutes, even though I have no interest in Blood Bowl. Well, it's a good thing I haven't played Blood Bowl in a fucking long time. Keep up the good work and look forward to catching up on all of the great content.
Indeed.
You're correct. It is all great.
I think it's all pretty great. I'm happy with what we put out, mostly. Occasionally, there's times when I'm like, hey, there should be a cut in that episode, and then there's not. But overall...
But you know what? Sometimes I write the cuts, and sometimes the cuts don't even...
Get cut?
Sometimes you don't write cuts of things I need to cut too. So I cut everything that is written on there unless I find it amusing, and then I'm like, I was worth it to stay in. So
This is amazing.
It's editorial control, I believe, is the
the term there.
Yeah.
It's like, hey, if you don't like it, you fucking edit it yourself.
Yeah. You want to make me look bad, then you don't let me edit things.
Bloodful will hopefully return soon. I don't know.
Or we'll replace it with a 40K minute.
Oh,
or
fuck.
40K 40 minutes. Yeah. 40K minutes.
I own like 3 new codexes.
Oh, God.
Oh, it's getting bad. This next email is also from an Alex, but not the same Alex as before. You're my first. I assume there's supposed to be comma RE. Hello, gentlemen. I wanted to start by saying this is the first time I've ever emailed into a podcast. So thanks for popping my cherry. Probably not the term I would use, but sure. I'm emailing looking for some recommendations. I'm going to tell you each person in my family's top 2 games we own. I was hoping we could give a couple recommendations that we might like based off of that. All right, starting with myself, my top 2 are Terraforming Mars and Memoir 44. Okay?
I don't know enough about Memoir 44.
I would recommend Undaunted.
Yeah.
For sure. It's a 2-player, one-on-one game. There's 2 whole games and an expansion that expands both of those.
Yep. And it's a deck builder, and it's,
And then if you like Terraforming Mars, just get Terraforming Mars, the card game, which is more Terraforming Mars.
It's got to be a better recommendation.
Get Terraforming Mars Prelude, because that's the expansion you need to play Terraforming Mars.
Yeah.
My wife's top 2 are Catan and Villainous. Villainous is a deck builder.
So my recommendation for this one,
yes,
Harry Potter deck building game with the expansion. I think the Monster Book of Monsters is the first expansion.
Harry Potter deck build. If you like Harry Potter deck building game would be very, very good. I would also recommend Star Realms.
Okay.
Yeah, Star Realms, good deck building. Catan-esque. What's your move on from Catan though?
Control dice builder.
So I was trying to think of like one like
Twilight Imperium.
No. Just because they both have hexes.
Yes, they have hexes.
My real answer for that will actually come for the answer to this next one, I believe.
My 10-year-old daughter likes Catan and Carcassonne.
So this is also a good move from Catan, with both of them liking Catan. Isle of Skye.
Isle of Skye is a solid game. Zach?
Barren Park is a great game.
Barren Park's a good one.
Barren Park is fantastic.
Yeah.
My 12-year-old son likes Terraforming Mars and Survive Escape from Atlantis, which I have not played.
I have not either.
I haven't played that one either, but it's about escaping from Atlantis.
So maybe a Forbidden Desert.
Forbidden Desert's good, yeah.
Yeah, Forbidden Desert, Forbidden
Skies.
No, I would not go to Skies.
Then
Desert,
I would not
Desert
go back
is
to
where
top.
you would go.
Yeah, that's
if you could find Forbidden Island, is it Island?
It is, but
Island.
I think that's a little too...
If you can find that one cheap.
Yeah, and that one's basically Pandemic.
Also, nothing you have listed on this list is Pandemic, and you should probably just get Pandemic.
It might be a good one for, especially for
everyone cooperative to play together.
Which, if you're going to get Pandemic, maybe get Iberia.
Mm-hmm.
It's now just called Iberia, the Pandemic system game or something. So, but yeah, you should have Pandemic on there somewhere. Pandemic is great, but you know what? Forbidden Desert. If you like Forbidden Desert, get into Pandemic.
Yeah.
My 4-year-old boy just likes smearing poop on the walls, so we can hold off on the games for him just yet. Is there a good poop smear? Kingdom Death Monster. I think you need to get him Kingdom Death Monster. There's plenty of poop smearing.
There's a game called Coconuts where you're shooting coconuts at, like trying to lion state. So that's sort of like
just launching poop.
It's like launching poop. It's coconuts.
That's the one that Paul has with the little rubber coconuts that bounce fucking everywhere.
Is it just called Coconuts?
I think so. Yeah.
I thought it was like Go Nuts for Coconuts.
Yeah, I thought it was something else in there too.
But if you like dexterity games at all, TikTok Woodman or Bling Bling Gemstone.
Is it I thought it was Click Clack.
Click Clack Lumberjack. Yeah.
Click Clack Lumberjack.
I think I want. Yeah. You know what? It might be both. But
you know what? It's also super Korean, and there's no way to know.
Yeah.
And then Kling Clang Miner or whatever.
Bling Bling Gemstone.
Bling Bling Gemstone.
Bling Bling
I was
Gemstone.
so close. Anyways, the email continues. Also, I found you guys and started listening from the beginning. And believe it or not, I stuck around. Believe it or not.
Talk Woodman is what it was originally called.
I mean, hey, I've heard worse. I'm around episode 60 or 70, and things are so much better already. Yeah, it got really much better after that first year where we split everything off. With that being said, you're more than welcome to read my email on the podcast. However, I would appreciate an email back, as it might take me a while to get caught up. Or maybe I'll get sick of your podcast and quit, and then I would never hear your recommendations. Anyways, keep getting better, but I'm sure you have, I think. Alex.
We did, and then...
In Wisconsin, maybe?
I have no idea.
Probably. I have a coworker. No, he was from Minnesota.
We have one more bit of listener feedback before we move completely on.
Yes.
One of the Wesses was in chat and said, I have this for listener feedback. Good job. Keep going. So that's chat feedback from...
I believe that is never stop, never stopping?
Never stop, never stopping. Yeah. I learned that lesson well from Andy Sandberg.
No, it's not Andy Sandberg. It's
Connor for real.
Connor for real.
Oh, see, I definitely did not retain that much information about that fucking
I don't
movie.
think I saw that movie until it came out on Blu-ray, and I think I saw it for like $5, and I was like, I'm going to buy this and watch it. And then I did, and I was like, this is good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A well spent $5.
Yes.
Indeed.
I think it's in theaters again soon.
Yeah,
You could see it at the Alamo very soon.
I want to say it's a sing-along, but it's when I'm out of town, so...
Bummer.
That is disappointing.
But I want to say I have the Blu-ray of it, so I could just watch it.
You want to know how I got these scars? Fighting wolves.
Yep. Fucking Seal.
Oh, Seal.
You need to get Seal. You need to stop Seal from singing. Nobody can stop him from singing.
I hope everyone's seen this movie we keep referencing, because
all right. So
there hasn't been any new Lonely Island content in a while.
There hasn't.
There was the baseball thing.
There's the Bash Brothers.
Yeah,
Bash Brothers.
Bash Brothers was pretty great.
Yeah. They're doing something soon. They're working on that Chip and Dale Rescue Rangers thing.
Is that okay?
Yeah.
John Mulaney
and Andy Sandberg.
Yep.
Are the two main Chip and Dale.
That John Mulaney SNL was one of the best I've seen in a very
he
long
does a lot of
time.
good stuff.
Very long time.
Yeah.
That was just this last Saturday's SNL.
Yeah. I've only watched the Weekend Update, which was Oops All Jokes.
Yep.
Wow.
It was very short for their
short.
usual, because the rest of the content of the SNL was very good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I'm used to trash most of the time.
Anyway, that's it for listener feedback. So
that's it.
That's it for listener feedback. If you would like to get a hold of us, there's a bunch of different ways to do so. You can send us an email.
Emails at milehighgameguys.com.
Bonus points if your name is Alex. Just round out the trifecta of Alex's emailing.
Need more Alexes to differentiate in some way.
Or the Wesses could all join together. We got a bunch of Wesses.
I mean, no one's given us $1 on Patreon in a while, so I haven't had to come up with a nickname.
Yeah, true.
People just keep giving us the $1 a month, so that just keeps choosing.
Patreon.com/milehighgameguys if you want to support the show financially. If you want to just send us information and contribute that way, aside from the aforementioned emails, you can find us over on Twitter, where I tweet under @MHGameGuys.
I am Zach_MHGG.
I am Jeff_MHGG.
There is technically an Instagram @MHGameGuys. There's also a Facebook page, also
you know what?
@MHGameGuys. Did you post something on it?
I posted on mine, but I didn't post it on ours. It was the Twilight Imperium game, and I put it on mine, and I didn't post it on...
So close.
I put it on my Facebook and my Instagram, but I didn't put it on the show's Instagram.
I feel like Zach's been watching enough TikTok. He's about ready to start the MH Game Guys TikTok.
No, that's... no. I use it to endlessly consume.
Just you and Echo. Just start making great board game content.
Only consumption.
Only consumption.
Speaking of
my ADHD.
Speaking of consumption, you can...
Tuberculosis?
That's consumption. You're not wrong.
I listened to a podcast that talked about 1800s vampires and also what consumption was.
I think punchboardmedia.com is still technically up.
I think we're good till May.
I think we're good till May.
Yeah.
May.
So you've got some time.
I still post on there.
You still.
I don't throw the punchboard thing on the end anymore.
You could still find our show notes over there with links to the Slack channel, which is by far and away the best way to get a hold of us.
Slack.
And Slack is that the link to the Slack channel is the reason I'm going to have to make a new website because I need people to be able to find where we
it's
really hang out.
mhgameguys.com, and then all it is a link.
Just a big button that says Slack.
Yeah.
But really, that's the best way to get in touch with any of us. That's where we organized almost our entire Mile High Cabin Con, both last year and this year. So if you want to come to a convention here in Colorado with us in the mountains and play a bunch of board games in some remote cabins near Winter Park, that's
not very remote. They're not remote at all.
They're up in the mountains, though.
There are 3 houses of the 6 that are in there that we will be renting.
Nice little cul-de-sac.
Yeah.
Yep. And they are all, very close. I'm super excited for how close they are.
Yes. Should be called Mile High Cul-de-sac Con.
God damn it. But yeah, so Slack channel is definitely the best way to get a hold of us. Worst case, if you cannot find a link to the Slack channel on any of the other things, all of those other stuff like emails and Twitter and Facebook, you can send us a message on any of those, and we will reply to you with a link to the Slack channel or an answer to whatever question you have. We will also answer your emails. I even wrote down the notes of the games we recommended to good old Alex there so I can bang him out an email later. Be like, boom, these are the games.
Because you're listening to games we recommended 4+ close to 6 years ago?
Yeah. There's a good chance that going from episode 60 to episode, I don't know what, like 279 are we on now?
268.
268?
58.
58.
So, yeah, he's got like 200 episodes to go. There's a good chance he won't make it.
That's why we're not good at
and
the game.
And he's got more than 200 episodes because a lot of them weren't numbered because they were just like review or discussion episodes that didn't get a number.
That's when we did 2 a week.
That's when we did things other than the...
I'm curious at this point. You see, at the first year anniversary, Anthony went through and did a whole recap of like minutes talking and like times we said certain words and all of this stuff. I want somebody to do that now for the entirety of the show.
No.
Like, I want to see like a 5-year update.
How many times have we said doo-doo?
We're closing in on 6-year update, by the way.
Yeah.
Yeah. I would like somebody to just go back to 5.
Don't even do the last year.
But yeah, that's it. I think for all the different ways to get a hold of us, mostly.
Sure. Slack.
Good enough.
Just join Slack.
Yeah, join Slack. Follow us over
daily
here.
Deduction. #daily_deduction. For all your Quirtle, Wordle, Global.
Oh, yeah. We had to make a whole fucking channel for it.
They're just going to keep...
Oh, shit. I've got so many to do still. I still have to do Octal and Squaddle.
They're just going to keep making as many of them till they're... When you type in one word, it will be every word that is possible of 5 letters, and you'll at least get one of them, right?
Yeah.
Now, see, it definitely reached... So 8, they went to 16, and 16 broke to where it couldn't do mobile anymore, which I think is the line. I don't think there's a dedicated enough user base to subside only on PC browser-based.
I threw out Worldle weeks ago, and everyone's like, whatever, and now it's like, yeah, everyone's getting in on Worldle now.
I've been like low-key doing Wordle, but yeah, it did blow up.
Worldle.
I'm not as big a fan on that one just because it's like you either know it.
You just gotta randomize the...
No, I understand. No, I mean, you know it or you don't. Like me looking at a country that I don't know, and
see,
I at least for like if... For me, I'll do 3 or 4 things, and then if I'm like, I don't get it by then I'm like, I know where it's at, and it's just like...
It gives me the same rush as that, like, Google Street View one was.
Yeah.
Yeah, where you just drop into it and try and guess where you're at.
And then you're pointing at wherever you're going. Yeah. And then there's Global, which...
I don't like Global.
But soon they'll be doing Global, except cities.
Fuck that.
Yeah.
Also, no.
Yeah.
What I really like with, so I like using, context clues on Worldle. Gotta get that extra "l" in the beginning. That's clearly, a couple islands on one side, because I don't like to do the random rotation, because that would make it too hard for my enjoyment.
Mm-hmm.
So I'd be like, okay, well, that has a coast on the, right side, which means it's, an east-facing coast, and, trying to guess. The only thing I really wish it had is maybe
unless it's
some
a river,
sense of scale.
Unless it's a river, and then you're like, oh, that was a river.
How many rivers have islands as part of the nation that shows up
Yeah, that's true.
I I do wish it had a sense of scale, because the problem is that like if they did Russia, right, like it
I
looked
think
the
we
same
would
size
know what
as, like,
Russia would
if
be.
Russia, yeah, it's got a very distinct shape.
Yeah.
But like I don't know, I'm trying to think of other like huge nations that don't have
The
a very
United
distinct
States of
shape.
America, there's like Alaska and Hawaii on there. It's when they get into shit like African countries or like Caribbean nations.
Yeah, like a Caribbean island that's just like, okay, well, that's clearly.
So what is the one
thing.
that's like you don't get the image, you only just have to guess where it is? And
Global.
Global. That one I didn't like because one of the first ones I got was, I think it was
the small island nation off
right
the
off of Madagascar.
coast of Madagascar.
No, well, it wasn't that one, but it was one of the Caribbean nations, and I was just like, oh, I can't remember those.
Yeah, no, for sure.
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck are those?
Yeah.
St. Vincent.
I'll do like 3 or 4, and if I'm like still not really narrowing it down or whatever, then I'll jump. I'll freely admit it. I'll switch over to Google Maps.
Yeah.
And then it becomes like a fun challenge of just trying to like
Yeah.
identify it.
Oh
like,
yeah, no, because as soon as I like see that, as soon as I can give it the context of the map, like I'm like, I know it's there, I just can't remember what it's called.
Well,
And then-
you all have not done enough trivia every Tuesday for years on end to not know all of these countries by heart.
I mean, I've gotten like the Wordles in one for like almost a week running.
Yeah,
Like,
they've done a
been
couple
pretty easy
Yeah,
lately.
Yeah. New
So.
Zealand.
Yep.
Anyway.
New Zealand, Indonesia. Yeah.
That's the kind of stuff you can find on the Slack channel.
Yeah.
Just huge discussions about the guessing
Absolutely.
games. The Daily Deduction channel is hot stuff.
Yes.
I probably should add it to like the list of like auto subscribes for new subscribers. It's the most active channel right now.
There's been a lot of people that haven't like engaged with Slack in a long time that have reappeared when Daily Deduction has appeared.
Yep. It's really great to see Amy back in there.
Yeah.
Right on. That is everything for this week's episode. Thanks everybody for listening. Thanks everybody for chiming in on chat. We had a few viewers and people chatting in chat. It was great. Matku got to break out Bob from Mile High Dungeon Delvers. Got to break out the band hammer.
Yeah.
If you are watching on the stream, you're still here. Mile High Dungeon Delvers is tomorrow. It's our first episode without Leander. It's Heartbreak City. Leander, he did not give us much notice. Like we knew he was leaving, but then he was like, "Oh yeah, by the way, I'm actually leaving like within the next 2 weeks, so I won't be here for the next episode." It was like, "Oh, we didn't get to have like a goodbye episode." That's sad. So it'll be our first episode without Leander. There'll be more space. We'll only have 5 people in the studio instead of 6, so that'll be interesting. But yeah, twitch.tv/MHGameGuys is definitely the place to follow us. To watch all those things.
Also,
Leander is moving to
Minnesota.
Yeah, Minneapolis, St. Paul. The Twin Cities.
Surly Brewing.
Yeah. He's had a bunch of big life changes. He's got like 4 employees at the company that he runs that has a couple big contracts in the works. He also just got accepted to be a professor at a college in New Jersey, and he's moving to Minneapolis. And so he's going to do some remote and some not remote. So he's going to be flying from Minneapolis to New Jersey a lot. And he's also exploring the options of becoming a father. So
what could go wrong?
Big things for Leander. We're very excited for him.
Mm-hmm.
And it is going to be sad to not have him on the show anymore.
But we will see him in MHCC.
But he will be back for MHCC. So anyone who's coming to MHCC will still get to meet Leander and play some games with him and hang out with him. So
I've met him a lot of times.
Yeah, obviously. Most of the local people have. But yeah.
I think we're good.
It wasn't too cold. Leander showed up to game night last week. Oh, wait. No, last week. Well, this week. I don't know.
It's not cold
I'm
anymore.
confused.
It's warm.
He showed up to the snowstorm one.
I didn't show up to the snowstorm.
No, you didn't. You also had a hell of a trek.
It took me 2 hours to get home that day. So, yeah.
That's been the episode. We're going to get out of here. At least for the episode. I'll stick around and chat stuff. Yes, Ofer, I literally said he was coming to MHCC.
Stop reading the chat. Just
all right,
go.
Finish
just go. Go.
As always, I have been your host, Adrian.
I'm still Zach.
And I am Commissar Jeff.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.